Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kobia and you can find me on Bystander Ps. On this episode of Cover Art Recreation, we are going to break down how Justine Bieber's Justice album cover art was designed. Before we proceed, I want to give shoutouts from my subscribers. Life with Adrian XO, Shana's Home DIY and Crafts. Thank you for your support. I'll be giving shout outs from my subscribers in my videos. So if you want to get shout outs from me, you probably need to subscribe to my channel and keep supporting. Without wasting my time, let's get started. So this is the actual post from Justine on Twitter, and this means that this is the original cover art for the Justice album. So let's try to understand, or let's try to find out how this thing was designed. So as you can see, we have Justice as the title of the album, and then we have Justine Bieber down there, and we have some effects too over here, which looks like a wall scratch or something. This looks like it's pretty simple, but trust me, it's not simple. It's not as simple as you may think. So now let's go through how this was designed. All right, so now we have the Twitter post over here. So let's put this one here, which is the one that we are going to loop on. Okay, so now let's bring it here, make it smaller. Okay, let's bring Justine's image over here. So this is the actual photo that was used for the Justice album cover art. So we are going to use the same image, and pardon me if you don't have a clear view of the picture, because this is not the original photo. If you want to unlock this is the background layer. If you want to unlock this, you unlock it by clicking on this icon over here, and let's click on it so that you can move the image around. But in this case, we don't want to do that. We first begin by putting on our text. Okay, so let's first bring on our text. So we have our text here. Let's click and drag it through, and it's way too big, so let's try to reduce the size of it. So we do that by hitting Ctrl or Command T, and then we transform this text as well. So let's try to bring it small, make it smaller. Let's try to bring it down. All right, so now let's zoom in and hit enter. Okay, so it seems like it's still too big, so let's reduce it small. Make sure your text is positioned at the center of your photo. Okay, so now let's drag it down. So if you want to drag it in a straight line, you press and hold your shift key so that you move it in a straight line. Okay, all right, so I think we have something better now. When we zoom in here, we have it positioned almost closer to the shoulder. So let's move it a bit, and then let's have a look at it over here. Okay, so this area too, I think is okay. So let me transform it small, something small. Good. All right, so now we are not trying to make it as same as we have in the original cover art, but we are trying to make something better or something similar. All right, okay, so now we have the text on it now, and as we can see from the text, it seems like, or it looks like you can see through the text. So we have to make ours the same way, and as you see over here, this area is transparent, but this area is not transparent. The C and E somehow doesn't look like a transparent text. All right, so now let's apply this effect, and then we move on. So click on this, and now let's try to reduce the opacity to, let me say, 60. Okay, 60, and then this doesn't look real. All right, and then let's go through the blending modes and then set it to, I think, let me pick linear light. Okay, when we look over here through the original cover art or the original album cover art, we see that these areas are transparent, but here is not transparent. So we need to make the C and E and some areas around the J and T not to be transparent. Okay, so let's come back, and I think this was the way it was done. So let's click on the first layer, which is layer 0, which is the original photo, and then go all the way up to select, and then click on subject. If you are using Photoshop 2019 and above, you have Dex effect or Dex simple technology in it. All right, so now we have our subject selected, and what we want to do is to duplicate that. So hit Control Command J, and this means that we've made we've selected only the subject. Okay, so now let's bring this one back. So go through your text layer, double click on it and name it text, and hit enter. Hit Control Command J to duplicate it, and then bring this one beneath our subject. All right, so now when we turn this one off, we can see that this one is behind Justine. Okay, as we can see, this is behind our subject, and let's turn this one to 100% and bring this one back on. And as you can see, we have this one not to be, these areas not to be transparent, and these areas looks like it's a transparent text. Okay, all right, so now when we zoom in from the original cover art, it seems like we have something better than what we have over here. So let's try to make some adjustments. Select this layer, which is layer 2, the one with our subject on it, and then hover over the text layer and press and hold Control. As you press and hold Control, you can see that there is a rectangular marquee to close to your cursor or your hand. So click on it, and it will make a selection for your text alone. All right, so now make sure that your subject layer is selected, the one with your subject or character on it, and then click on the adjustment layer icon and move all the way up to curves, and let's increase this more. Okay, so as we increase it, you can see that we have something better now than previously. Okay, so now let's try to reduce this one again, and we are having something better, and it seems like this area is not okay. So let's still bring it up. Okay, 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 okay. So now let me go through this one. Let me go to undo. All right, so let me increase this side a bit. So this means that I'm controlling the darker areas. So when I move it up, I'm trying to make the darker areas brighter, and then when I control here the lighter areas, I want to make it more brighter. Okay, all right, so I think here around this area is cool. Okay, so this one, let's so cool, it's cool now. I think we have something much better now. Or yes, so let us put it at 100 and reduce this one. Cool. So now we have something much better now. As we can see here, you can see through the text, and in ours too we can see through the text. The reason why we are not having much detailed information is the quality of our image. The quality of our image is very low. That is why we are not having much details in that. So now the next thing that we need to do is to add the artist name or the name of the artist. So now let's go to text and then click, and then make sure you type Justine in uppercase. Alright, so now double click on the text layer icon and then go up to the color panel and then set your color to white. So now I have the spacing being done already. So if you want to space it out, you come this way, click on the character property, then you can now increase or decrease this one as you want to space out the characters. Okay, so now if you want to change the font size to, you have it over here, you can set it to either 9 or 10. I think 9 will do. Okay, so now let's try to position this at the center of our image. So now hit Control or Command A, and now with your move tool selected, make sure you select Align Horizontal Centers. So now you have this in the middle or in the center. So hit Control Command D to deactivate your selection or deselect your selection. And then with the text layer selected and your move tool also selected, use your arrow keys to move your text down a little bit. Okay, so now this is what we have now, and let's take a closer look at something over here. As you can see, these areas looks like a scratched wall. Okay, that makes the cover really amazing. That is the most interesting part of the cover. Okay, so now with ours we don't have something like that, and we need to do that one too. Unfortunately, I don't have the same wall scratch effect, but I think I can use something over here. So I have let's take these ones back. I have something over here which we are going to make use of it. So in order to move it, make sure you click on this lock icon so that you can move it around. So now let's move it on to Justine all the way up here, and I think it's way too big. Control Command T to transform. Okay, and then let's bring it here and hit OK. So now let's go through the blending mode options and look through which one will help us get a better look of this. Let's go through. I think this one is okay. So now we set it to lean lighter color with the blending mode, lighter color. Then let's zoom in and see. I think this is pretty cool. So let's hit Control Command T to still transform it and make it a better one. And this doesn't look much real, so press and hold Control, and then as you click and drag this side, you can see that we are trying to make this look very nicer. Okay, want to make it look real, like it's really on the wall. Okay, so now let's move it down a bit and then hit enter. Now we have some reddish effect over here, and I think we need to do away with that. All right, so now let's do away with that. Since we are trying to make it similar but not the same, let's try to clean those areas out and then make sure we have only that effects. Okay, so now let's increase the opacity to 100%, sorry, the flow, and then the opacity to 100%, and then we have something quite better. So you can hit Control Command T and then right click and click on warp. You can decide to transform it, warp it into different forms and shapes, and then hit enter. Now with your move tool selected, bring it somewhere closer here, and we still have some colors over here that we need to clean it up. Okay, so now hit Control Command J to duplicate it, Control Command T, make it smaller and bring it somewhere here, and hit enter. This one down here, and now you can choose to lower the opacity, or you can maintain it as it is. So now left with one thing, we have some effects to over here, something like a wall scratch or something like that. So now I think I have something to here. So I don't have the original one, but we are trying to do something to represent something. So let's try to move this one along. Okay, so now hit or control command T, and then let's try to transform it a bit, and then right click on it whilst your transform is active and click on flip horizontal. Okay, so now we have it here. Let's stretch it out a bit and then move it, and then let's rotate it small and hit enter. Now let's go through the blending modes and then find which one will make it nicer. I think screen does it best, so let's do it over here. So we have it excess of it, so we need to clean up some areas to make it look better. Okay, all right. Okay, so now let's create a layer mask for it. Let's create layer mask for it, and then with our brush tool, let's increase it and clean in some areas. I don't think all areas were affected, and we can also lower the opacity here. So this is pretty cool. And then I think we have something better now, and let's clean this area too. We don't have it here. All right, so now this is how I think Justine Bieber's Justice album cover art was created or designed. So if you want to share your views on how this was designed, and I don't know the name of the designer, he made or he has done a great job. So if you know the name of the designer, you put it in the comments section. We will end here. Thank you for your time. Thank you for everything. And this is how I made Justine Bieber's cover art. So don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to share, make sure you turn on all notifications. This is the end of the Justine Bieber's Justice album cover art. So thank you for your time, thank you for everything. Stay safe, goodbye.